Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, yeah, we're live. Money Monday on a Tuesday. John Melton coming to you live. I feel like I haven't done a live video in a while. Like,
oh my gosh. Really?
Hopefully I remember how to do it. Like, hopefully I remember what I'm going to talk about. Nervous.
Got this, baby.
I'm a little nervous.
It's
making me a little uncomfortable. How many of you are Friends fans? How many of you love the show Friends? Ross is probably the funniest.
Yeah.
He's probably the funniest. He's probably our favorite character because he's so goofy and he has so many drugs, divorce. He has so many problems. But hey, you know what? Mo money equals mo problems, right? The bigger the paycheck, the bigger the problems. How many of us want big problems because we want a big bank account? Anybody else? Let me know in the comments if you want an MBA, a massive bank account. I can tell you, I just came off of my biggest month ever. Our team just had record growth over the last 90 days. And it's kind of crazy between our quarterly bonus that we now earn and our monthly check. Let me just tell you, it's silly. It's silly how much money we made this month, but this didn't happen overnight. There ain't no such thing as an overnight success. If you ever see somebody that appears to be having overnight success, just know that that's not reality. The truth is they paid a price. The truth is they probably sacrificed and worked their face off prior to getting involved in your company. Because I can tell you, I've been doing this for a hot minute. And as much as I love this profession, we have been through the ringer. And I can tell you, we have earned every dime. How many of us know what I'm talking about? Smash that heart button if you can appreciate this conversation, because I'm going to talk to you about leadership today, because I want to help you level up in your leadership. And one thing I'll tell you is you have to remain humble. You have to remain a student. In fact, just last week, we were out of town last week. Dylan had a baseball tournament in Michigan, but I still attended the virtual six-figure summit. I can't remember what it was called, but it's like Eric Worre's like leadership training. And it was a 2-day training. It was 6 hours of training. Might've been 7 hours. I haven't actually watched day 2, so I paid for the lifetime access just because day 2 was the same day that Dylan's baseball tournament started. So I didn't get a chance to watch that yet, but I did watch day 1 and it was really good. Lots of great content, and sometimes it's not always about learning things for the first time. Sometimes it's being reminded. How many of us know what I'm talking about? How many of us, sometimes you hear something, you've heard it before. You might have even said it before. Like a lot of the stuff that Eric teaches, I teach that stuff too, but he has a different perspective. He's extremely developed. His bank account is a lot bigger than my bank account. And even the top athletes, the top performers, the most successful people in the world have mentors. They have coaches and they invest in themselves. See, it's interesting how we want to level up. We want to make more money. We want to hit a higher rank. We want checks with commas, right? We want an MBA, a massive bank account. Right? But we're not willing to show up on a consistent basis. We're not willing to work on ourselves and confront our demons. See, this is why it's so important. I can't tell you. Sometimes we spend so much time talking about business practices and social media trainings and duplication and recruiting and customer acquisition and all these things that are important. They're extremely important. In fact, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think the most important skill to develop is? What do you think successful people have in common? What do you think is that one common denominator? What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think that common denominator is amongst very successful people, people that are driven. It could be athletes. It could be, celebrities, pro athletes. I already said pro athletes. Actors, musicians, right? Could be people in business, could be network marketers, could be you. Maybe you're a top producer. Do you even know what's the one common denominator? Because, we're always looking for quality humans, right? I always say you're looking for people with WHIP, WHIP, right? You're looking for people with WHIP. That is people with work ethic, hunger, integrity. They do what they say they're going to do. Long after the mood they said it in has left them. Right? They have integrity. They're committed to that integrity. They're committed to doing the right thing and doing right by people. Anyway, the P stands for personal power. So you're looking for people with WHIP, work ethic, hunger, integrity, personal power. So important. But what do you think is that one common denominator amongst all successful people in business, in sports, in all things? What do you think it is? Let me know. Discipline, consistency, they believe, drive. A lot of that's very true. Coachable. But why do you think they're so persistent? Why do you think they're so consistent? Why do you think they have belief? Why do you think they're so disciplined? You should tag some people in this conversation, by the way. If you're a network marketer and you're building a team, sometimes they need to hear it from somebody else. Sometimes they need to hear the message from somebody else. Again, you might say all the same things that I say, but it's validation when they hear it from me. Why? Because they might not know me, or I'm, an earner in a different company, or I'm, higher up in your upline. I know a lot of people from our team are on this broadcast. Sometimes they need to hear it from someone else, right? I tell Nadia, baby, we got to go see this movie. It looks amazing. It's got great reviews. She's like, oh, baby, that doesn't look like my kind of movie. I would not like this, right? And then her sister tells her, what's the app you guys use all the time? Marco Polo. So they're always sending each other Marco Polo videos, right? It's like unbelievable how much they can talk to each other through Marco Polo. And if Vera tells her to watch a movie, that exact same movie, what do you think happens if you had to guess? That's right. We're watching that movie. So anyway, the point is sometimes a prophet is not appreciated in their own home. Ain't that right, baby? You might be married to a prophet. Anywho, what do you guys think it is? How come the comments just stopped? Okay, here we go. Help me, baby. Help me. There we go. First time here. What's up, DD, right? Your first time? Who shared the broadcast? I want to know. I see a lot of you tagging and sharing. Awesome, awesome. Big goals. Yeah, that's a good one. They all have a coach. Okay. Passion. Got it. Influence. Yep. All right. So I'm just going to tell you. You ready? You guys ready? Smash the heart button if you're ready for me just to give you the answer. What's that one common denominator? What's the one thing? I was going to give away some cash if someone got it right, but nobody got it.
I didn't get it.
I'm surprised no one's guessed it or gotten close to it. Vision, that's close. I see a lot of you sharing. Amanda, what's up? Birthday girl, thanks for sharing. Just wished you a happy birthday. Lisa, thanks for sharing. Shannon Hughes, always sharing. Thank you, Paula. Thanks for tagging Amy. All right, I'm going to tell you. Okay, you ready? Are you ready? We got a lot of smashing hard buttons. Maybe I should say once we get 500 people on. All right, I'm just kidding. Okay, it's purpose, right? They have a why. The bigger the why, the harder you try. They have a purpose.
Boom.
They don't even know it. They don't even understand. Why am I so motivated? Why isn't everyone else like me? It's because they have a purpose. Maybe it's to make an impact. Maybe they just have a deep purpose of servitude, of giving back. Maybe their purpose is to retire their parents. Like, if you had such a burning desire and a deep purpose for what you do, you wouldn't give up on a bad day. You wouldn't, like, I try to think of some of these really driven athletes, or, some of you might not like the president, but would you agree the dude's got purpose, right? You could hate him. You could love him. I don't even care. I could care less what your opinion is, but he's obviously pretty driven, right? How many of you, I talked about Eric Worre. Would you agree he has a purpose? Would you agree he's driven? Do you follow Grant Cardone or Chalene Johnson? They have purpose. Something wakes them up in the morning every day. Something gives them energy, gives them passion for what they do. It's purpose. Purpose is the one common denominator. And this was actually, I was watching this video. I can't remember who the dude was, but he essentially was quoting or reviewing a book that he had read. And in the book, and it sucks because I don't remember the dude's name or the book that he read, but anyway, that's terrible. They interviewed all the top producers in this sales company. So these are people that are in sales, and they interviewed all the top producers, but also they interviewed everybody else. Yep. So they interviewed like 50 or 100 salespeople, and they didn't tell the interviewee, the person doing the interviewing, they didn't tell that person who those top producers were. But based on the questions and based on common denominators, they were able to guess the 7 top producers in the company out of like 450 or 100, might have been 400. I can't remember how many it was. But those 7, guess what they all had in common? Purpose. They had a reason they were doing what they were doing. So even on a bad day, even when they didn't feel like it, even when they had the sniffles, right? You think about what's holding you back right now. And it's probably you don't have a big enough reason why you're doing what you're doing. Because if that was deep rooted in you, you wouldn't care if your whole team quit. You wouldn't care if your company got shut down with the FTC. Hello, that's what happened to us in our last company. You wouldn't care if you got sued for $2.5 million. Hello, that's what happened to us. You wouldn't care. And I don't want to say you don't care, because that's actually not the right word. Like when my father died of a heart attack, it was very sad, but it also gave me more of a purpose to want to be healthy. It gave me more of a purpose to want to help other people get healthy. That's why I'm in a health and wellness company. I don't think you can make a bigger difference on someone than helping them with their health. Yeah, you could say, well, what about their mental health? Sure. But a lot of their insecurities and their mental hangups come from a low self-esteem and insecurities. And a lot of that has to do with them not being in great shape as well. Their physical attributes. You guys know this is real. This is real-ish right here. How many of us, it's hard to be confident and feel good in video if you think you're unattractive, you think you're an ugly person, you think you're overweight, you don't think people will listen to you, right? Would you agree? There's a lot of people that are very fit. A lot of them, there's people out there that are also, they got an 8-pack, huge muscles, and they have their own issues, right? So I'm not saying that everybody that's fit just like is good up here. In fact, there's some people I know that are very fit that are also very crazy. But anyway, they have purpose, right? The successful people that have self-fulfillment, a lot of them have that deep-rooted purpose for why they do what they do, why they wake up in the morning, why they show up every day. And I think, for me, because I lost one of my best friends to suicide and drugs, because I lost my father at a young age, because I grew up without money, right? I had all these deep-rooted things that drove me. Now, of course, some of it could be nurture, some of it could be nature. Some of us are just born naturally energetic, passionate, loud people, if you will, right? So we all have to kind of figure out who we are, have that self-awareness for what drives you, and figure out what is your purpose. Why do you do what you do? Why do you wake up in the morning? Why are you so hungry? Why are you so driven? Why do you want to make an impact? Why do you want to help other people? Why do you need to talk to more people? Because here's the truth. The reason you're struggling in your business, if you are, and I keep it real, you're just not talking to enough people, or the ones you talk to, you suck at it. You suck at talking to people. You suck at doing videos. You suck at follow-up. You suck at leadership. And I'm going to talk about leadership attributes. But a lot of this comes with limiting beliefs and our lack of worthiness. And this is why I continue to listen to personal development. Look, you would think my bank account motivates me. And it's like, what's the difference in 340,000 in a month and 120,000 in a month? It's really not all that different. It really isn't. I know that sounds crazy, but it's if I make 120,000 in a year, okay, that is very different than making it in a month. I understand that. But the point is, that's so much money. When you're making this much money, it's gotta be bigger than that. And you know what it is? I love helping people. I want my people to win. And it's like, I care so much about people's success. And I care so much about, I'll work longer than I should. I'll stay up later than I should. I'll respond to more messages. I am extremely crazy efficient and effective. People don't understand. They're like, how do you respond to so many messages? How do you work with so many people? How do you do all these videos and stay so, how do you do it? I don't get it. It's because of purpose. It's because I'm obsessed with this opportunity. I love building teams. People are like, are you going to retire and just be a trainer? And I commend those of you that have done this, right? Or I don't know if those people would be watching, right? I don't know if a lot of the retired trainers and coaches would watch this video. Maybe they will. I don't know. But the people that have done that, it amazes me that they can just do coaching. Because for me, it's like, I don't know how I can be in the profession and not recruit, not build a team, and not still be doing my thing, right? And have an organization. I love it. I can't explain it, right? But it's a deep-rooted purpose. So you got to figure out what's your why. Why do you do what you do? Why do you read the books? Why do you talk to the humans? Why are you watching this video right now? Why are you watching this? What's the reason? Why are you here? What are you looking to get out of this? And the bigger your why, the harder you try, right? If you have something just this crazy vision and you believe that you can go out there and impact, different charities. Maybe you have something, like we donate a lot of money to Underground Railroad, right? Because we want to stop sex trafficking and we want to do our best to stop these nasty criminals, right? Like for us, it's like it becomes so much bigger. It becomes so much bigger than just making money. It becomes about impact and legacy. And if you follow Tony Robbins' principles, that's the stuff he talks about. Why do we continue to invest in ourselves and work on ourselves and, wake up early, stay up late and work as hard as we do? Because we freaking love it, right? It's why you see these pro athletes that can't retire, right? It's so hard for them to retire because they're like, what else am I going to do all day? Like they love competing. They love what they do. All right. So let me get into these 5 attributes. All right. And this is something that I got from Eric Worre's 6-Figure Summit. Again, it's all stuff that we've all heard before, but sometimes it's validation. Sometimes it's different perspective, right? So let me talk about the first one. All right. Which is philosophy. All right. So philosophy is that first attribute and it's imperative. What's your philosophy? What's your philosophy on your company, your business? What are your beliefs around building a business like this? Like, do you believe it's like you have to be sleazy and salesy to be successful in a business like this? Is that what you believe? Do you believe you have to lie to people to be successful? It's just not true. In fact, when I started telling the truth, that's when I started having success. When I was a liar, because I will admit, back in my mortgage days, I hate to admit this, but I'm very honest on my page, on my channel, on my videos. When I was in mortgages, we did lie to people. We were practically taught to rip people off. And I was in my early 20s, and I'm not making any excuses. I take full responsibility for it, but everybody lied. They would lie about the terms. They would lie like, oh, why do I have a processing fee? Do you remember this, Nadia? Mm-hmm. Why do I have we were taught, why do you have a processing fee and like some other fee, like a admin fee? And it's like, oh, that's just a duplicate. Don't worry about that. But no, it was actually, you were getting charged double. Such BS, right? They literally would have a leaderboard of like who charged the most fee. And if you just think about that, the underlining issue with that, right? It's like, who can rip off the most people? Who can overcharge the most people? Thank God they created new laws and restrictions around how much you can charge people. And now loan officers don't make as much money unless they do a lot of volume, right? They can't just, anyway, so I don't want to go on a tangent about that, but do you believe it's greedy to make a lot of money? Do you really believe in your products or do you believe they're overpriced, right? What do you believe? Because if you really believe in your companies and your companies, hopefully you only have one company, network marketing company, that is. But if you really believe in your products, your compensation plan, your leadership, the integrity of the company, like if you really, really believe in that stuff, right? And your philosophy is that you're making a difference, that your philosophy is that you're out there helping people. And yeah, you make money, but that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. The more money you make, the more impact. Right? So philosophy is that first attribute. If you look at successful people, if you look at people that have had a lot of success in business, right? They have a philosophy that's it's unshakable. Like nobody can tell them that it's not a great business. Like nobody can tell me network marketing doesn't work. Nobody can tell me that network marketing isn't a great vehicle for people. Now you could tell me there's certain companies out there that aren't the best, that are more pyramidal, right? It's all about recruiters recruiting recruiters to recruit more recruiters. They don't actually get customers. They don't, right? They don't give the industry a great, I had this one person attack me years ago. I don't remember which company the person was in, but they got really upset because I supposedly bashed their company. They're like, you're supposed to be representing this company and an advocate of the industry and not representing the company, but representing the industry as an advocate and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's a great industry, but your company sucks. And you rip people off. So no, I'm not just an advocate for all companies just because they're in the profession that I love. Does that make sense? Anyway, so philosophy is numero uno. What's your philosophy? If you don't know what it means, look up the definition for philosophy and write down what is your philosophy, right? What do you believe? All right. Number 2 is competence. Competence is another one. If you look at people that are in leadership roles, see, it's interesting. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die, right? Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to make a lot of money. But if I gave you my team right now, I said, hey, why don't you go ahead and fill in for me? I'm going to just give you my business. I'm done. I'm retiring. And you can just pay me like 20% of the check. Just pay me 20% of the check, but you're going to take over, right? It's your business now. Do you think my organization could learn from you? Do you think my team would follow you? Do you think you could teach them the skills? Would you know how to show up every day? Would you know how to lead that team? I'm sure some of you are like, hey, I'll take that deal. Sam, yeah, we love Underground Railroad. It's amazing. Such a great organization. You know, we went to Tony Robbins' birthday celebration. Was that this year? Earlier this year, before COVID? February. Yeah, and actually that was in California where it started happening. But we went to Tony Robbins. So basically we paid $25,000 to have a VIP seat at Tony Robbins' like 60th birthday party bash concert celebration. And it was just incredible because all $25,000 went to Operation Underground Railroad. But it's just so incredible hearing the stories and, you know, all the kids that they've saved from slavery and sex trafficking. Like, it's mega disturbing, right? So if you have a deep burning desire to go out there and help with that cause, right? Like, you're not going to care when someone tells you no or returns your products or gets mad because they got a product that, you know, the bottle was empty. Like, hey, they sent me an empty bottle. This company sucks. You know, I had a guy the other day, he was all upset because, you know, the hold times are really long with our company because we're going through like explosive growth right now. And I'm like, look, everybody wants to be a part of the growth, but they don't want to deal with the growing pains. Isn't that interesting? You know, it's like if you were to join us a few months ago, you would have got right through to customer support, but we weren't growing like we are right now. So you got to take the good with the bad, baby, right? I want the check. I don't want to do the work. I want the check, but I want everything to be perfect. I want to get in on the ground floor, good timing, but I don't want to go through any growing pains. I want everything to just be perfect, right? Some people are not meant to be entrepreneurs. They can't, right? If you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen. Anyway, you got to develop skills, develop behavior that a successful leader would go out there and implement every day, right? Are you competent in helping someone launch their business? Are you competent in the business, the company, the products, the compensation plan? You got to learn to become effective and efficient. Because here's what I'll say. I don't know everything about the products. I'm not the best product expert, but I know enough. I have a foundation. And if I don't know the answer to a question, I know where to get it. Number one. Number two, I create an environment where people can ask questions inside of our team Facebook group and in team chats. Like, they can get the information. So even if you don't know the answers, you're not that competent yet, you know where to get the information. Just because you can't lead a large team yet doesn't mean you can't develop the leadership skills and abilities and become competent. Does that make sense? Number three, self-image. Self-image is huge. Self-image is everything. It's a mental picture of yourself, both in the physical and as an individual. I'll say it again. It's a mental picture of yourself, both in the physical and as an individual. And this is huge, right? What do you think about yourself when you think about yourself? Because I bet if someone talked to you the way you talk to yourself, you wouldn't like that person very much. Now, maybe not all of you, but I know a lot of us. I know a lot of us are in that place where, you know, we want to win. We want to be successful. When we look in the mirror, when we're put in a situation, we really have a lot of that self-talk, that negative stinking thinking that comes out, and it's brutal. And this is tough for a lot of people because they look at their circumstances, right? Their upbringing, right? How many of us maybe had a checkered past, or, you know, our childhood wasn't the best. You know, we didn't have the best family environment. And you don't think, deep down inside, you may not believe that you're worthy of success. You may not believe it. You may not believe you deserve success. You deserve love or accolades. This is a big deal. And some of you, you can't just read a book and develop self-image. It takes practice. I mean, listen, I still have doubts. I still beat myself up. I still feel like I'm not doing good enough. Now, not often, but it does happen. This happens to all of us. This is just called being a human. In fact, I would encourage all of you to find a program like the Landmark Forum, right? Or find a program where you can tackle some of those demons and some of these limiting beliefs because it's really paramount that if you want to develop into a leader and you want to be a person of influence and a person that's look, we're all worthy of success, in my opinion, but you have to become a better version of yourself. And I think for a lot of us, it's really tough because when we're put in certain situations, those limiting beliefs creep in, right? And it's you have a tough time with rejection. You have a tough time with criticism. You're too critical on yourself. And some of us, man, it's like we don't love ourselves enough, right? We don't look in the mirror and feel good about ourselves. Like we watch our own videos and we're just like, oh gosh, what's wrong with me? I'm so I remember when Nadia first started doing videos. Sorry, baby, to put you on blast. But when Nadia first started doing videos, she's over here laying on the floor with Toby somewhere. Where are you, baby? I'm listening. But when she first started doing videos, she was so hard on herself. She just didn't like what she was watching of herself, right? She was her own worst enemy. But what's funny is it's because she was putting on an act, right? And for those of you that have never heard of Landmark Forum, definitely Google it. There's probably a Landmark Forum in your area. Actually, Nadia, I wonder if they're doing them virtual now.
Baby, but also Tony Robbins is now doing.
Yeah, Tony Robbins is doing. That's right. He confronts a lot of that stuff too, right? I just feel like Landmark for a lot of people was like paramount in their self-development. Right, basic and advanced, but in advanced, which I never did. It was funny because we went to Landmark Forum, and you're supposed to confront these relationships, these toxic relationships with like your parents and loved ones. And Nadia got mad because she's like, not mad, but she was like jealous of me. She's like, you don't have any toxic relationships. I was like, yes, I do, baby. It's just with people that don't matter. It's like with people I don't, right? It's not like I have a toxic relationship with my brothers or my mom or, any loved ones anyway. So she had some relationship stuff. She's like walking out of the room now. She's probably like, oh my gosh, I can't listen. But, she had some stuff and she got out of Landmark. She's like, I know what needs to be done. I need to get my family members to do Landmark Forum. And I'm like, babe, I don't think that's the point. I think you're just supposed to accept people for who they are. And she's like, no, they need to go to Landmark. And then she paid for some, we'll say family members to go to Landmark. And they had Russian translators and everything. It was not cheap. And they walked out. So they didn't do it. So people have to want to develop a better self-image of themselves. That's the point. And then she went through the advanced and they talked a lot about putting on an act, and it really helped her. Like she came out of there and she would tell people she loved them. I never heard her say that to like just random people the way she would. She became much more loving and accepting. And, Russians, man, Russians are hardcore. You know what I'm saying? We didn't call Nadia the Russian hammer for nothing, but I truly believe it had a permanent impact on her. And I know people that went to Tony Robbins or, they went to some like self-development type seminar program, whatever. They invested in life coaching, whatever it is. And it's made a permanent impact on them. Right. So you have to figure out what's going on. Like, what's up with your foundation, right? You can't build a home on quicksand, right? You can't build a home on bad foundation. It's everything, right? You'll have cracks in the foundation. The house will fall apart, right? So you need to understand the value in investing in yourself, and you need to be very careful with what you think about, because what you think about and speak about, you bring about. So what do you think about yourself? Be careful how you talk to yourself. You don't have to be arrogant to be successful. You don't have to be arrogant to help people, but you do need some posture. And until you have confidence, you need to have some courage. It takes courage to be a leader. It takes courage to put yourself out there. It takes courage to speak about, things that are uncomfortable, to share things from your past. It takes courage to work on yourself and invest in yourself. It takes courage to show up every day. It takes courage to contact your chicken list. Right? That's tough stuff. I get it. But you must continue to personally develop daily to become a better version of yourself. Just because you're worthy of success doesn't mean you're going to easily obtain success. It's meant to be challenging. Number 4 is vision. Eric talked about this. Companies have vision, right? There's company vision, which is important. You know, like in our company, we want to help 10 million homes live clean and eliminate harmful toxins. That's a great goal. You know, they talk about us being $1 billion company and all these things, but you need vision for your family. You need a household vision. You need a vision for your team, vision for yourself. Vision is paramount. I think a big reason we've crushed it in our network marketing business. And this is the third company we've been in. Oh, actually, no, technically the fourth company we've been in. Because our first one, when we were very young, went out of business. Then we were in another company for 7 years that we resigned and walked away from. That took courage. Whew, that was really tough. And then, of course, we got attacked by anybody that we were friends with, all these people that we cared about, that we thought cared about us. They didn't care about us so much when we went somewhere else, we became a competitor. It's interesting how you find people's true colors out real quick like. But then we had a company get shut down with the FTC, and that was brutal. Imagine you put 7,000 people in a company in 2 years, company shuts down. So you had vision, but it didn't work out so well. And you had vision again, you got all excited, and again, it didn't work out so well. And then you had vision, but it was like leery vision. Like my vision was so leery. I had 1 foot in network marketing and I had 1 foot in my personal brand, which I still have a personal brand and we still monetize. But back then we were making about the same amount of money with our network marketing business and our brand. We were doing both. But, my vision was strong, but I was also like, I don't trust network marketing anymore. I had MLM PTSD and I started to lose belief in vision for what was possible. In fact, I remember saying that I don't think I could truly make 7 figures because I wasn't willing to sacrifice my family and my well-being. Because back then it felt like to be that successful, you had to travel all the time, be on airplanes, 3-way calls, like never home with your family. And I'm like, I don't know if I can truly build a 7-figure business on social media. Now I kept showing up anyway because of the purpose and because of my drive and, all the things. And to me, it was like, what else am I going to do? How many of us have ever been in that situation where you're like, what else am I going to do? Like, I freaking love network marketing. What else am I going to do? Right? So you've got to have vision for yourself. You got to speak life into existence. You got to speak life into your team. Recently I did a video in my team Facebook group and we started our own ATM recruiting group, for team building. And we wanted to make it more international. We wanted to have more freedom and flexibility because it was our own ATM group. And I told our team, I said, listen, we're going to take this team to $10 million a month. That was the month we were pacing to do 6 million for the second month in a row. And I'm like, we're taking this team to 10 million. And look, there's going to be ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Ain't going to be easy, but we're going to get it to 10 million a month as a team. And that means that all of you are getting your piece of the pie. That means all of you are going to go out there and absolutely body slam this business. You're going to go out there and you might be making X amount of dollars annually. And now you're going to make it monthly. Now it's not going to happen overnight. It could take a couple years. But can you imagine? I want all of you to think about this. I'm going to do some future pacing for you real quick. Imagine if what you made right now, write that number down, in fact. Write the number down on a piece of paper if you're taking notes. Write the number down. How much money do you make in a year? Now put next to it, this is my monthly income. This is my monthly income. Imagine if what you make 50,000 a year. Now you're making this monthly. How would you feel? Smash the heart button if you'd be fired up about that. Would you be excited? I think you would. But you got to accomplish together. Break out your paintbrush, right? The best leaders, man, they're like Daniel-san, right? Mm-hmm. Up, down, paint the fence. All right. So hashtag future pacing. You got to paint vision and you got to pour into your team, but you also want to go out there and lead by example, right? Visionaries, they make some big bucks. How many of us would agree that people out there with vision, in fact, what's it say in the Bible? Say it, baby.
People without vision will perish.
Right? You don't want to die. You're either growing or you're dying. What are you chasing? What are you pursuing? How are you making an impact? All right. The fifth one, and I agree with all of this. Eric talked about this stuff. Now I'm giving you my own perspective. All right. I'm not giving you his perspective. I'm sharing some of what maybe he touched on, but you got to have your own philosophy, your own perspective on what I'm sharing with you. But these are attributes of a great leader. And there's a lot more attributes, but these are some of the key attributes. All right. And this last one, it's putting together a game plan. What is your team supposed to do every day? Do you have that DMO dialed in? What do they do every day? How do they launch their business? Do you have scripts and systems in place? Now, here's the truth. It's hard to come up with a system on your own unless you're like a huge leader with a massive team. But even that, you're not doing it on your own. You're doing it with your other leaders. So you don't necessarily have to create the game plan, but you need to explain to your team, like, here's where you get the game plan. In fact, we created a 24-hour game plan document to help people launch their business, right? Giving them the basics, what's most important to focus on, to help them focus on those IPAs, those income producing activities. In fact, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give away some cash. I want to reward those of you that stayed on to the very end. So if you're tagging people, you're sharing this, or you're asking good questions. So anybody asking good questions, sharing, which you just dropped the word shared if you're sharing. You can say the word shared as many times as you want if you shared it, and tagging people. And I'm just going to randomly pick people that are asking questions. But you really need to have a game plan to help people. Because if there's no game plan and everybody's just winging it and you're too afraid to make decisions because you're like, well, I just kind of let people do their thing. I mean, people need to be led.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda Ponce. Let's give her some money right here. So Brenda, you're the first winner. Send an email to our support team. Kyle's on here. He'll respond to you, I believe, but it's support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Include your PayPal. We'll send you some money. So keep questions coming in, tagging, sharing, all that stuff. And those of you that are getting on late, just watch this from the beginning if you want to up your leadership. I love talking about leadership. Do you guys get value from my leadership conversations? I mean, our organization has done over $100 million in the last 3 years. You know, we've been full-time in network marketing since 2008. I don't know anybody that's had more success duplicating social media strategies in network marketing that also teaches it generically like us. So I think we know a thing or two about a thing or two. But, Wendy Lee Stevenson, I appreciate your leadership as well. You're amazing.
Oh, that's a good question.
That was so helpful, said April. Oh, Heather, that's a great question. Let's send her some cash too.
Okay.
So Heather, you're going to email our support team, support@mylifestyleacademy.com. We'll send you some cash money, include your PayPal. All right. Heather says, how do you lead without being too bossy? And let's give away some of our academies for the other people too. We'll do ATM Business Academy, our #1 academy. And we could also do our Video and Branding Academy, which is legit, just been updated. Both programs have been updated this year, actually. So, so keep sharing, keep tagging. If you're getting on late, well, you can watch this from the beginning if you don't know what the heck is going on. Cool. How do you lead without being too bossy? Gosh, that is such a great question. I think ultimately it depends on the person. Some people want you to, like, I'll give you an example. Casey and Kylie, okay? They've been working with us for 4 to 5 years now. And every day they send me a message, okay? We have a twins chat because they're twins, right? They're amazing. They just hit a huge rank. They've just developed so much. They're so consistent. They're so positive. I love working with them. But, you know, every day, every night, they drop into a chat with me and they just let me know what they did for the day because they want to be held accountable. They want to be held accountable. Now, it's sometimes difficult for your upline to hold you accountable. So maybe find some accountability partners, find some people that, you know, maybe your sideline at the same ranks, right? So if your team's doing 10,000 a month and, you know, this person over here, you get along with them, they are doing 10,000 a month, maybe you two, you know, work together and hold each other accountable. But I think ultimately everybody wants accountability if they're serious, if they're hungry, but they're also very independent, right? I'm very independent. I don't want anybody smothering me. So I lead the way I want to be led, right? Like I want someone that's got my back. I want someone that's there for me. If I need something, if I have a question, but I don't want someone micromanaging me. So there is that fine line, right? Because people want to be led. They want someone to support them. And they want to know that that person is in the trenches with them, that has a vested interest in them. That's what I love about network marketing. You get to partner with people that want you to win. They want you to crush. They want you to go out there and smash your goals. But a boss, a manager, I don't know about you, but I've never liked working with someone that tells me what to do. You know, my kids sometimes drive me crazy because, you know, they sometimes throw their manners out the window, right? How many of us have kids? Smash the heart button, or let me know how many kids you have and if they ever drive you crazy. You can be honest, but sometimes my kids, you know, they try to boss us around, which is funny because our personality, We don't like, Nadia and I don't like when we boss around each other. You follow me? Like, she doesn't like when I boss her around. I don't like when she bosses me around. It's just our personalities are very independent, right? We have that shark personality, that A-type personality. So do my kids. Wish us luck. Anyway, so sometimes they try to boss us around. You know, hey, Dad, grab that for me. Hey, I'm like, no. We're not going to play that game. You're going to politely ask me, and I'll respond to you accordingly. If you're rude and you try to tell me what to do as if I work for you, I'm your assistant, we're going to have a problem, right? You need to have your manners. You need to be respectful. This is important. Teenagers. Yeah, Rosa. So you understand, Rosa. You know, my daughter's 11 going on 16. You follow?
Oh my God.
Same personality as me, says Karina. 3 bossy kids. There you go. So
that's hilarious.
Just lead people the way you want to be led, right? Communication is important. Kindness, encouragement. Sometimes you have to get better at asking questions. Hey, Susan, just want to reach out and touch base. You've been on the team for a couple weeks now. How are things coming along? Anything I can do to support you? Doesn't that just feel different? Doesn't that feel good if I reached out to you and said that? Or it's a prospect. Hey, Susan, just want to see where your head's at with everything. You know, I know you had some time to look over the information. You hopped on our team call. What did you want the next step to be? What would you like to do next? Did you still need some time? Did you have some questions? That's very different than, hey, did you do this today? Hey, did you ATM anyone today? Hey, I didn't see you put out any curiosity posts this week about the promotion.
Baby, your facial expressions.
How many of us would be like, deuces. Bye, Felicia. It's like that song Dylan likes by NF.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. That's Dylan's favorite rapper. He's like a clean rapper and he's just like real positive. But anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
Did you see any other good questions? Because you've been like reading through.
There's been so many good questions.
Okay, let's highlight another one. Are you guys getting value? Smash the heart button if you are. If this is helping, share with some teammates. How do you deal with negative Nancy, says Nicole. I confront it. You gotta kill the monster when it's a baby. Kill the monster when it's a baby. Now let's talk about 2 different types of negative Nancys. Okay. You have negative Nancys that are negative people on your team. That needs to be confronted. Customers that are negative, that needs to be confronted. Now, communication is key. You got to become a great communicator. Hey, Wendy, I can appreciate that you have some concerns and I appreciate your insight. But here's the thing. I want you to come up with solutions to the problem so we can brainstorm together. Look, it's easy to identify problems. And believe me, we got problems. I got problems. We all got problems. But do you have any great ideas of how we can solve the problem? Because I'm open. I'd love some feedback. I'd love some ideas. You know, we can take this back to the team. We can share this with corporate, get their perspective. Does that make sense? Do you guys see how I handle that? When someone's negative, though, sometimes, here's the thing, guys. Sometimes people are emotional, right? We're not logical creatures, right? Some of us analyticals are, but most of us, we're very emotional. Even the most analytical person can become emotional. We're creatures of emotion. And sometimes people are having a bad day and they're venting or they're frustrated. Look, I'll tell you what frustrates me. You want to know what frustrates me? I get really frustrated when my customer or my teammate is having a bad experience. Like they can't get in touch with corporate. They're not getting a response back via email or they were on hold for a while or their products got lost in the mail or something. I don't know. I'm just like, sometimes you're just throwing out ideas, right? But I don't like when someone has a bad experience. Like I take that on personally and I'll get flustered. I'll be like, guys, like we got to fix this. And then like I reach out to corporate, I'm an East Coaster, y'all. Like sometimes I can be a little feisty. Nadia will tell you. Sometimes I get a little heated, a little feisty. What can I say? It's my personality. I'm fiery. Thank you, baby. So, and some of us need to do a better job of putting out the fire with water versus throwing gasoline on it. Focus. Oh, you guys got that, didn't you? All right. So anyway, so I'll send a message to corporate and then they do some research and they figure out that like what the customer said or what the marketer said, it's not right. Like they're not saying, hey, that person's lying, but they're like, well, that's actually not what happened, or here's what's really going on. And they do a little due diligence and it's like, oh, okay. So that person just was either overreacting or confused. And then they came to me with their frustration. And then I got frustrated because they were frustrated, right? You guys get that? So you have to do your best to remain in posture, right? You have to also, stay composed. We've talked to our son about this. Sometimes he gets frustrated because he's a very good baseball player, but when he's slumping or he's struggling or he's having a bad game, sometimes he doesn't do the best with his composure, right? So you got to control that. If you can, confront the person with kindness, confront their negativity, let them know that, it's okay to have some frustration. But number one, we don't complain in the team chat. Negativity does not need to be spewed into the team chat. If you have an issue, right? How many of us have heard negatives up, positives down? So if you're having an issue, the rest of your team doesn't need to know about it. Go to your upline with your negativity. But I also want to say that as an upline leader, I want to work with people that are positive, that are resourceful, that are problem solvers, not problem identifiers, right? That's who you want to work with. That's who you want to lock arms with and pour into. Like, it's easy to find problems. What's the solution? Do you have a better idea? Right? Do you have a better way that we can handle this situation? So be very careful, because we all want to work with people that are high production and low maintenance, right? We want to work with people that are high production and low maintenance. Some people are high maintenance and low production, and we got to cut them off, man. Like, if they're constantly negative. Like, there were people, and I'm going to speak some truth. I had a leader that was on our team in the company I'm with right now. This is not like old times. This is a person that was on my team, and she was, 6-7 levels deep. And every time I got a message from her, it was her complaining. Now on social media, all positive and everything was great. And I had lots of leaders like this, but this person just popped in my head. And it's just like, she'd be complaining about her upline, complaining about her downline, complaining about this and the company and all these things. And it's like, dude, I just stopped responding to her messages as quickly. Like, in the beginning, I'd respond immediately, right? Like, if I get a message from Bryn Lang, one of my leaders, if I get a message anyway, I have people on my team that, like, when they message me, I respond quickly, right? When Kimberly Francis messages me, right? Casey and Kylie, Ian Lenhart, there's people on my team, Jen Cooper, Brandon Forbes, when they message me, if I see their message, like, if I see it, I'm going to try to respond as quickly as possible, because they're positive. They're producers. Right? It's like, how do you know if you have a project, if you have someone you can mentor? They're reaching out to you. They're putting you in chats. They're asking great questions. They're positive, right? They do the work. They do the freaking work. Sorry, I got fiery there. But this person, every time she messaged me, it's complaining about this, complaining about that. And I'm like, dude, I just stopped responding to her as quickly as I did in the beginning. And she started figuring things out on her own, right? She got the idea and she left. Eventually she quit, went somewhere else. And I'm like, dude, I liked her. I really did. And if I saw her out at an event or something, I would socially distance from her just like anybody else. But, I'd have my mask on and I'd wave. I'm sorry. Some of the stuff I say, I don't know where it comes from. In your head, it's funny. And then you say it and you're like, I don't know if that was funny. Anyway, so I'd wave to her. Hey, what's up? How you doing, girl? But I'd keep walking, right? I don't want that energy. You follow me? Now, if it's a negative Nancy friend, family member, whatever, you got to confront that and just say, listen, you don't like what I do. I don't like what you do. You might not say at that point blank direct as I would, but it's like, I want to be your friend. I appreciate you. I love you, but I don't want your negativity about my business or my anything. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like what I do, that's fine. Just keep it to yourself. Keep those thoughts inside your own brain. I don't need your insight. I didn't ask for feedback. I didn't ask for an opinion. Yamina says, do you put people through an application to join your team? No, I do not. I just have conversations with people. And, it's interesting because sometimes, Yamina, I'm glad you asked that question. Yamina, that's probably how you say your name. I see you're over on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? If someone tells me they've been in 6 companies and they're complaining about all these companies and they're complaining about their upline and they're complaining about their downline and all that. No, Erica never ended. She eventually quit, which, I hope I don't sound like a jerk, but it was like good riddance. Like, I don't want that negativity, dude. Like, you have problems. Okay. Welcome to being a human. Like, you know what? The day I don't have any more problems is the saddest day of my life because that's the day I died. You understand? Like, you know how many people would pay to have your problems? You know how many people would do anything to have your problems? Like, let's really talk about it. There's people around the world that are starving, that are in third world countries, that are suffering in a way you can't even fathom. And you're complaining because you don't like your upline, your little babies. Little babies. That's what I always say to my kids when they complain about something. What sucks is it backfires.
Yeah.
Like earlier, I banged my leg because, we got our new Tesla. And so the door is like a robotic door. So I'm standing in the doorway, putting my cup down. I have my water bottle with me, and I put my water bottle down, and the door just like, it's robotic. And it just, I guess it thought I was in the car. I don't know. And it hit my back, and it made my shin, like, not that hard, but it was just like enough to like bang my shin on the side of the door. And I was like, dude, that really sucked. You know how when you bang your shin, it's like, it feels really bad. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, little baby's okay. Like, I'm like, you can't do that back to me, boy.
Oh, that's funny.
But nobody wants to work with negative people. So if this person's like, oh, I've been in 5 companies, they were all scams, and my upline sucked, and they didn't build my business for me. It's like, I'm not going to build your business for you either, buddy. Deuces. I have to admit, I hate to admit this, but in general, I'm not saying I don't want to sound sexist. All right. But dudes are the ones I actually have the most difficulty with. Not all of them, not all dudes. Some of my favorite people to work with are dudes. Glenn Rowlands, Brandon Forbes, right? Anyway, I'm just Ian Lenhart, some of my favorite guys, right? That I work with that are in my business today. But I have had a lot of issues with guys. Lazy, excuses, high maintenance. And I almost feel like because they relate to me and they think we're like buddies, and we are buddies, but they feel like it's like the respect isn't where it needs to be. The gratitude, like they don't have as much appreciation for me, maybe as like someone that is of the opposite sex. They're more, I don't know how to explain it, but they do the whole like, hey, like I can't find my website. I'm like, dude. Yeah. So what do you post on social media? I'm like, did you go through the training? Like even like a little bit of it? Because everything is in the training. And I have to be so patient because I never want to make someone feel dumb. One thing, leadership tip, never make someone feel stupid for asking a question. You follow me? I love a good question. I love a bad question because at least that person's trying. But there does become a point of where someone is almost asking questions just because they want attention. And it's like, dude, instead of asking me questions, why don't you go ask 10 people if they're open to making money from their phone? Go ask 10 people that are watching your stories or that are commenting on your curiosity posts if they're excited to learn more about your incredible products. Does this make sense? Like, I don't want to deal with negative Nancys. I don't want to deal with high maintenance Harolds. I don't want to deal with lazy Larrys or lion Larrys. You follow me? And I'm sorry if it's all like women. Well, actually, no, those were dudes' names. So that's good. Mm-hmm. Men and women. There's high maintenance on both sides. You also deal with people that are a little impatient. How many of us ever dealt with people that are impatient, right? They get, hey, look, Warner Taylor. I love working with Warner. He's always positive. Every message he sends me. Now, does that mean you can never complain to your upline? No. I'm not saying that. There are valid frustrations. There are valid concerns, and you should address those issues with your upline. You should be able to trust that your upline has your back and wants to help you. But at the same time, like, especially when you have leaders that have really large organizations and they're really busy, like, I guess I always looked at it like this. I never expected my upline to reach out to me. I always appreciated them doing so, but I also knew that I was worthy of their time because I was working the thing. I was doing what they were teaching. So when I did reach out to them, I expected a response. I didn't always expect them to reach out to me, but I get frustrated when I hear people say, well, I never hear from my upline. Like, do they hear from you? Do they hear from you? Because look, if you have an upline that actually cares enough to reach out to you, you're already ahead of most people. How many of us, drop it to the comments and let me know, have you ever had an upline that you never heard from? I learned more from having a bad upline than I did from having a great upline, truth be told. I truly believe that. Nadia, you would agree with that, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like we learned a lot of lessons from our upline, good and bad. More bad than good though, because they were bullies. They did make people, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Someone could say they had a totally different experience with them, but that's probably because that was a direct recruit, right? A direct recruit that they didn't get the taproot
Right.
yet. Once they taprooted you, or if they felt like you were so deep or you were like in their big leg, I don't know. I just felt like they treated you like a redheaded stepchild. And look, hey, that's how they did things. To me, I knew how that made me feel like I was inferior. It made me feel like I wasn't worthy or something. Like I can't explain it, but it didn't feel real good. It didn't feel real good. Hey, yeah, I'm available for a 3-way call. And then you put them. So you text them, hey, can you do a 3-way call? I got a big A player. And they say, yes. Okay, I'm calling you in 5 minutes. K, right? K, or no response at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, hey, I'm gonna call this person now. You're available. Yes. And then you get the person on the phone, you edify them, you call them on the 3-way and they don't answer. And then you don't hear from them for like 2 days. Oh, sorry, dude, got busy. What they're doing is they're saying, you're not worth my time. They're saying, go use someone else for 3-way calls. And I'm like, dude, I would never do that. I would never do that. If I'm not available, I'm not available. But if I say I'm available, I'm freaking available. You guys understand? You have to be a person of your word. You have to be a person that people can count on. And the big reason I see a lot of people struggle in this profession is because once they achieve success, they think it's because of them. They think it's because of who they are and because of what they've done and because, they take way too much credit and they think they're the shiznit. You follow me? And everybody else works for them. Everybody else, like they are the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're the greatest thing that ever happened in network marketing. And pride comes before the fall. And that's a saying for a reason. Mark says, upline comes to me for answers. It pissed me off. I make them money. But you know what, Mark? That's the beauty of network marketing. You could say, dude, my upline, I make more money than my upline does. But how cool is it that they get paid off of my success? How awesome is it that someone that I'm more knowledgeable than, someone that I'm more talented than, they get paid off of me? That's what can happen in network marketing. You can get lucky. How many of us love that aspect of network marketing? Sometimes people get upset by that. And it's like, but that's the beauty, right? That's the beauty in network marketing. And I'm not trying to call you out, Mark, but I think it's funny because I had that same thing. I had that same experience where it was like, my upline makes money on me, but it's like they made more money on their other teams because of the way the comp plan was. We like cut them off from like the bigger checks, right? Anyway, I just remember some of the things they said, some of the things they did. And I'm like, I will never be that type of leader. I will never be that type of leader. I'm not going to make someone feel like crap just because they're in my biggest leg or because they're too deep or because, they're not coachable and they're not doing exactly what I'm saying to do. Right. In fact, I remember a speaker one time said, it's interesting how we get upset when we have someone that's uncoachable. How many of us have people on our team that are uncoachable? Smash the heart button if you do. They go, oh, I get so frustrated by these uncoachable people. Oh, these people are uncoachable. Do you realize some of the best people are uncoachable? And here's the real deal. It's not that they're uncoachable. It's that they're uncontrollable. How many of us were uncontrollable, uncoachable in the beginning? See, sometimes we want to control what people do. We want to control the outcome. We want to control. If you have people on your team that are controllable, coachable, sometimes those aren't the best people, believe it or not. Sometimes they're not. Why? Because they're followers. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Okay. I'll do it. They're not always the best producers. Sometimes your best people are the uncontrollable, believe it or not. That's right, Cadence. Launch them into their dreams. It's their dream, their goal, their vision, their perspective. It's their business. You're just here to help them. You're here to help them build their business. That's right, Kara. She says, that is a true leader. To be a servant, you must be a leader. To be a leader, you must be a servant. This is both you and Nadia. Oh, I appreciate that. Look at Mindy Baxton. dropping the flames. And, you know, it's interesting too, because I look at Mindy, right? Mindy is the epitome of a great leader because she's in the trenches with her team. She speaks life into her team. She's always working on herself. She's doing exactly what she wants her team to do. She's leading by example. She's not saying, hey guys, you should do videos. She's doing videos and saying, this is what I do. I do videos, right? I work on myself. I invest in coaching. I invest in books. And like, she's doing exactly what she wants her team to do. But here's the challenge. A leader like Mindy, right? A leader like some of you that have a decent team. You're making 6 figures. You're making 5 figures a month. You're crushing it, right? And I don't want to call out Mindy because Mindy's doing an amazing job. But I'll tell you what happens sometimes. Sometimes we also get into a comfortable place. And here's what I mean. I find myself doing this. It's easier for me to work with Shannon Hughes. It's easier for me to work with Jenny Joe, who I see on here. It's easier for me to work with Mindy, right? Why? Because they're so easy to work with. They're high production, low maintenance. I know when they come to me, when they reach out to me, it's because they really need me. They're not wasting my time ever. They don't waste my time, right? And look, even if they did waste my time, I would never say anything. I would never make them feel bad because again, I don't want to look, people don't remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel. I want you to remember this. And I'm talking your kids, your friends, your coworkers, your customers, your teammates. They remember how you made them feel. They don't remember what you said. That's why you have to do your best to not make people feel bad for asking you a question or reaching out for support or saying something silly. You have to do your best. But the point is, sometimes we get complacent, right? In fact, I'm going to talk about my son for a second. You know, I don't remember who said it, but they said, you know, sometimes kids get comfortable. I think it was Sven said this, actually. I thought it was good. I said, you know, Dylan's kind of slumping a little bit. Like typically he's a more consistent hitter, but he just hasn't been hitting as well as he did the last few seasons. And that's baseball. Baseball is the hardest game because it's such a mental game. And if you go up there with confidence and you're feeling good, you do good. But when you're not feeling confident, you're thinking about those prior at-bats, kind of like in life, right? In business and sales, if we've had 10 bad conversations, 10 people rejected us, sometimes we're not feeling as positive and enthusiastic as we need to be in that next conversation. You follow me? So, you know, Dylan was struggling a little bit and Sven said, you know, sometimes kids get complacent. They're so used to being the good hitter that when they're not hitting well, it's like they don't know what's going on. Like they don't know how to overcome that challenge, that adversity. So they get into a slump because they continue to carry the baggage of the previous at-bats. And you're one good swing away from being positive again. But then if you go up and you have some decent at-bats and you're hitting the ball right at people, you can hit the ball right on the nose, but you hit it right at somebody and you get out. And then you hit a bloop and it's not a good hit, but nobody catches it and you get on base. It's one of those games, right? April says facts on facts. But so you get complacent. You get complacent in your leadership. You get complacent with your team. And you're like, hey, man, I'm making good money. But here's what will continue to drive you. You always have someone getting started on your team, don't you? Don't you always have some new customer, some new teammate? They haven't gotten the results yet. I'm not excited about someone buying my product. I'm excited about someone getting results from the product. That's why they bought the freaking product. They didn't buy the product so I can get paid. Hey, John, can I buy this bottle of, I don't know what this is, a beauty booster?
Yeah.
An oil? A beauty boosting oil. That's one of Nadia's secrets. Nadia has many secrets. Liquid collagen.
Yes.
Face masks.
Yes.
All these things. Anyway.
Yes.
Filters. I'm just kidding.
My
Baby.
favorite juice.
Oh, your favorite juice? Celery juice every morning.
Yes.
Lots. She's all about delaying the inevitable aging process.
Oh, don't even say it.
I had a point.
You did.
What was my point?
Ooh.
I've been talking too much. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah. We love it, John.
You get complacent,
So good.
right? You go, you know what? I'm good. But you got to remember, oh, this is what it was. That customer just bought the product. They haven't lost the 50 pounds that you lost. They're brand new. Help them. Make it about them. Same thing with your business. There you go. Mindy said, yup, I went through a season of complacency for sure. Then I jumped back into personal development and training and the fire, it blew up again. See, that's the key, right? So someone says, I want to get to that next level, right? I want to get to that next level in my business. New levels, new devils, new challenges. You got to double up on your personal development. You got to double up on your leadership, double up on your efforts, double up on your recruiting. Make sense? Because even look at my level, guys, you know how easily I could coast right now. But you know what keeps my butt burning? That little fire that keeps it going? It's honestly remembering what it was like to struggle. And I have so many people on my team that are going through that season of struggle. They're in that place where they're not seeing results. And it's like, I care so deeply about their results. Not everyone. I don't know everyone. I can't help everyone, but I can help the willing. I can help the ones that are doing the do. They're showing up. Those are the people that I think about them, and it continues to drive me. And it's so much bigger than like, how can I make more money? Right? See, when you're an amateur leader, that's what you think about. You think about how can you make money because you're struggling financially. You're not in a good place mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, in your relationships. You're not in a good place. So you're so self-consumed with your own selfish desires. But I'm telling you, when you can flip the script and make it about other people and make it about impact and like, hey, this person just joined my team. Who gives a crap? Who gives a crap? Whoop-de freaking doo-dah. Deb joined the team. That doesn't mean anything if Deb quits in 90 days. If Deb has a bad experience. And this is where people pleasing isn't so bad. Mm-hmm. You know, I always say you don't want to be a people pleaser. But I have to admit, I think it's actually one of the reasons I've been successful because it would kill me. It would kill me for someone to have a bad experience. I don't mind if people quit. I really don't. I don't care. People quit because they quit. People quit, right? Quitters never win and winners never quit. You'll never meet a network marketing failure. You'll only meet network marketing quitters. And look, if you quit and you go off and do something else because you decide network marketing isn't for you, that's fine. But you still can't say that it doesn't work. You can only say that you just didn't like it. That wasn't for you. That's fine. You quit. All right. But I think for a lot of people, that's a tough one, right? It's tough to make it about other people. It's tough to make it about, helping that newest person because you're so self-consumed with your own challenges and problems. But dude, when you start helping other people solve their problems, when you start helping other people achieve their dreams, their goals, you help them get results, they'll stick by you forever. Like if you make a difference in someone's life, if you continue to impact them and pour into them because you're getting someone pouring into you, and then you're pouring into them and you're leading by example and you're in the trenches, you're helping them accomplish their goals. There's less likelihood of them quitting on someone that cares that deeply about them and continues to be there to support them. And I think this is such an important aspect of leadership. And that's how I'm going to conclude this training, because I think it's about impact over income. It's about, making a difference in someone's life, continuing to show up so that you can be a better version of yourself, not just for you, but for your team, for your family, for others, the people in your community, in your environment, right? And the better you get at self-improvement, and the more you realize, man, this isn't about me. This is about the people I can help and I can serve and I can be of service to them and I can be the leader that I wish I had. See, so many people are like, I don't like my upline. My upline, they're not, I can't even reach them. They're not committed. They don't include me in things, right? Whatever it is. And it's like, you know what? Then go whoop their butt. Go crush them, right? Go out there and outproduce them. You don't like them? Okay. So be the leader you wish you had. Anyway, just to recap, just for those of you that got on late, those 5 attributes, if you're going to go back and watch this from the beginning, it's philosophy, competence, self-image, vision, and having a game plan. These are the most important leadership attributes. I got this from Eric's 6-figure summit that he did last week. I thought it was an amazing training. He does a great job. And again, some of this you might go, I already knew those things, but sometimes it's good to have that validation and those reminders. So hope you guys got value. Those of you that want, actually, did we give away the ATM Business Academy?
No.
And the Video and Branding Academy? All right, let me just pick 2 people. All right, so who shared or who tagged people? Let me know in the comments. I'm just going to pick the first 2. Whoever comments first. Did you guys get some value from this? Smash that heart button if you did. Shannon says, you're my upline. I don't think I ever reached out to you. Yeah. So there you go. Like if you want to get your upline's attention, sometimes you have to reach out to them. Sometimes you have to let them know, hey, I want your help. I want your support. Now, there's also a chance that you have 17 upline leaders that are all amazing. And if you have that many people above you, you don't need to reach out to all of them, right? You don't need all their support, but you want to find 2 or 3 that you can lock arms with. You want to find 2 or 3 that are as serious as you. And sometimes it's got to be your sideline. Sometimes people find better sideline support than they do upline support, and that's fine too. Catherine says, do you have any single friends? Hey, if you're in network marketing and you're single, it's a great place to mingle. Be the leader you wish you had. Yep. Taylor says, great live. Who was the first one? Jenny Joe. So Jenny Joe, you just won access to our ATM Business Academy. And if you want, you could actually give this to a team member. So if you want to give it to someone on your team, you can do that too. Send an email to support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Who else shared? Ashley Martin also shared. Ashley, you'll get access to our Video and Branding Academy. In fact, you know what? Jenny Joe, just choose the academy. If you want the ATM Business Academy, awesome. If you want our Video and Branding Academy, awesome. Just when you email support, you and who else did I just say? Ashley Martin. So the 2 of you just want access to one of our academies. So just let us know. Do you want the ATM Business Academy or the Video and Branding Academy? Send an email to support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Let us know which course you want. And I appreciate all of you that are tagging, that are sharing, that are smashing the heart button. I know this was a long broadcast, but I was excited. I haven't done a video in like 5 days, so I just gave you all the goods. Anyway, make it a great day. Let's go crush. And look, if you want more training like this, go to mylifestyleacademy.com. We also have our new podcast at mylifestyleacademy.com/podcast. So you can listen to a lot of this training versus watching it. I know for some of us, it's hard to sit and watch a video. I can appreciate and relate to that big time. So if you want to download our new podcast and get a lot of this amazing training content via audio experience, go to mylifestyleacademy.com/podcast. And I'm out of here. Peace out.